Well, I hope you're up for a little competition. She's got a power tool in the bedroom, dear. I was thinking to myself, what Mrs. Doubtfire quote could I start with that would make Pete the most uncomfortable? And I went with the vibrating sex toy one because I was
that's the one.
Yeah.
That was one of the vote I got, as a vote that quote was given as well. And apparently just as Robin Williams does in that scene where they shot that, I guess he just went super hardcore Robin Williams and just got out of hand as he does, and obviously was quite offside. But
somehow it still made it in.
Well, who knows? Maybe that was the base level. Maybe the things he went off the cuff on got even more intense. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure there's all kinds of shit that was cut. Oh yeah. We're just okay, just go. And they're like, okay, well, we shot 14 hours today. Can't use any of it, but well, that was good. Okay, back to the makeup chair, Robin.
Yeah.
But hello and welcome.
Welcome to the Movie Men podcast. I am Peter, and that's my co-host Brady, and we are here to continue our journey back in time, where we go through the years of film one at a time back in time. And we have votes. We have votes where, whether it's Brady and I coming up with film ideas, whether it's Patreon supporters getting their increased say to help give some vote suggestions, regardless, we let the audience choose what we review. And this is no different, where we had 4 pretty well received, well, 2 very well received, and then some other periphery well received films. But we had 4 voting options, and I do want to get in the habit more of going through them, not painstakingly, but just dropping a minute or so, just what are these films, as far as if I'm not familiar with it, if the listener's not familiar with it. Obviously we'll get to Mrs. Doubtfire, because that's the theme of the episode. I've got a bit of a teaser. I'm going to drop a few minutes later on about Free Willy. That was one of my options. A few people voted for it, so just coincidentally I decided, hey, why don't I just watch it? I'll chat about it.
Do you want to know something?
Yes.
I've never seen it.
Oh, really?
I think we owned on VHS, because keep in mind it was the 90s.
Yeah.
And so if you didn't have it on VHS, you didn't watch it.
Yeah. How were you?
Maybe you had it. Maybe it was on a tape that your grandmother recorded off of television. So there's commercials and shit. But you'd watch it over at her house. Mm-hmm. We didn't own it. We owned. I'm gonna have to touch base with my sister. I think we owned Free Willy 3.
It became a franchise. It really became a franchise.
I think she was maybe gifted it. I'm looking it up here and trying to see. Yes, it was Free Willy 3. Mm-hmm. And I think that was it. It was all I remember, and maybe this is true of all of them. But it had a big, a lot of the cast and some of the theme of it was centered around indigenous culture.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And so she had Free Willy 3, and it was part of a gift set thing where it also came with there's the main character in the movie wears some sort of little necklace. It's a little hand-carved orca. Yes.
So checks out.
Yeah, and so it could have been Free Willy 2. I don't know. Maybe he wears it in all 3 of them. I don't know. But it's this necklace that he wears, and so we had one. It came saran wrapped in.
Oh, that sounds familiar. I've never seen the sequels, but I think I've seen the necklace. I remember, I think maybe just walking by at a department store, seeing the VHS, and I think seeing the necklace on the outside. That this is ringing a bell.
Yeah, I literally just sent you I sent you a link to it. But yeah, so we owned that.
Fair.
And so that was, and I saw that maybe twice, but it was like my
Sure.
sister's VHS.
Right.
And I think
I had one of these. Didn't
Yeah.
even see the third movie. I had one of these.
And I think, like, I saw it once or twice when, like, I would watch it when she had it on or something. She was 4 years younger than me. But I didn't watch it a lot, and I definitely never sought out the others.
Right.
I think mostly probably it being my sister's VHS kind of put me off of the franchise.
Sure.
Just because I was like, again, it was the 90s, and so
Yeah.
it was like, and I was a kid, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this movie about marine biology that my sister owns, like that's a chick film. I'm not gonna watch that. That's stupid.
I get
As a
that.
kid, that's that was the mentality.
And I get that. And I just remember there's it seems there's these phases in just different maybe it's different generations, but there's like the hot, I want to be this when I grow up. And
Marine biologist was it, man, for girls.
I feel like there's like early childhood educator, there's
That's
marine
another
biologist, there's all these like hot button, like I'm going to school for this. And then when people go to or for forensic science is another one. They're like,
in my late teens and early 20s, you would not believe how many girlfriends I had that were in school to be an early childhood educator.
Oh, it was the bee's knees.
And I started to it asked me questions about am I just into early childhood education? Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But yeah, every girl wanted to be a marine biologist.
And then when they found out it wasn't like swimming with whales, they're like, screw this noise.
Yeah, that it was like, okay, move in our country, in Canada, move to British Columbia.
And check plankton samples.
You couldn't stay in Ontario and swim with the dolphins. That wasn't going to happen. So move to, and then spend your days in a lab.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing paperwork. It wasn't what they
swimming with the
all wanted to be. Yeah. Play with a sea cucumber. There you go.
So we'll get to Free Willy a bit later. I am going to take some time to talk about that. Benny and June was an interesting one because
have you seen it?
So that was a recommendation you made. I have not, and it's interesting because I know you didn't recommend it to me, but you made it a recommendation by making it a vote option. So that was interesting. My wife, like a decade ago, was like, "Oh, this is a cute movie," and I'm like, "Oh, fair enough." Still haven't gotten around to seeing it. But especially some people that I saw voting for it were reminding me like, "Oh, you like this movie? That's interesting." So the more and more and more people that are in their own way pushing the envelope of that movie, saying, "Hey, this is worth your time," I'm just intrigued by it, and I'm going, "Hey, early Johnny Depp, different things I've heard. It's at least caught my attention."
Early Johnny Depp, and then what's this other actor's name? He's in I feel like a lot of 90s stuff. Where is he? Aidan Quinn.
Oh, okay.
Aidan Quinn, what was he in? I'm not recognizing him from the what he's known for. Like, I must have known him from some niche stuff. Because when you pull him up on IMDb and they list like the 4 things that he's best known for, the only one that I recognize is Benny and June. But yeah, anyways.
Cool. And definitely looks like a very interesting artistic movie. And then Grumpy Old Men, which I have not seen, but I think I've seen the sequel because I think it's on like a cruise ship or something.
No. Okay. That's called Out to Sea. Okay, so here's the thing. Listen. There was, I don't care how much time this takes, there was a incredible, in the 20th century, there was an incredible comedy duo in Walter Matthau.
Yep.
Who Walter Matthau was Mr. Wilson in Dennis the Menace. He was Einstein in the Einstein movie. He was, all kinds of stuff. So him and Jack Lemmon.
Yep.
And they were comedy gold. They are The Odd Couple.
Which I have seen the show. Well, not like every episode, but I have seen.
Okay,
episodes.
so they're not in the show. In the show, they were.
Oh.
So originally it was a movie. It's a movie from 66? 68.
Oh, okay.
So 1968, there was a movie.
Oh, okay.
And then in 1970, there was a show starring Tony Randall and Jack Klugman.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's not seeing Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon.
Huh. Okay.
But they were in Out to Sea together, which was
Oh, maybe that's what I've seen.
they were just one of the that's the one that happens on a cruise ship.
Oh, okay.
So they were in Out to Sea together, they were in Grumpy Old Men together, they were Odd Couple and Odd Couple 2, which Odd
Right.
Couple 2 came out like late 90s.
Okay.
But it was one of those stories where they were just inseparable. Like if you were doing a comedy and you were getting one of them, you were a fool not to get the other.
Right.
It was also one of those really, really cute stories where, so Jack Lemmon passed away in June of 2001. And Walter Matthau passed away in July of 2000. So 6 months later, Jack Lemmon went. And it was just kind of one of those like,
Yeah.
you had to wonder, was it a Carrie Fisher, Debbie Reynolds situation
Right.
where there was just kind of no point?
Yeah.
But no, these two were incredible, absolutely incredible together. They were both in a movie called The Fortune Cookie back in 60, that one's 66. Okay. So yeah, so just lots of movies that they did together. I have several like framed autographs, like a picture of the actor and then their signature on a little piece of paper nicely framed next to it within the same frame. Yep. One of those is Walter Matthau. I'm missing. I
cool.
don't have my Jack Lemmon yet. So there's that. The main characters from The Odd Couple are named Oscar Madison and Felix Unger. My girlfriend and I had a cat for a year before we had to put him down slightly after his first birthday for health complications. His name was Felix, and everyone always assumed he was Felix the cat, and we're like, no, he's Felix Unger. He's Jack Lemmon's character, and the kitten that we got back this past summer is named Oscar. So we have I've named two cats after their characters now.
That's cool.
Okay. And finally, the most important thing. I have Grumpy Old Men and Grumpy Old Men 2 on Blu-ray. And the next time I'm in town, and I'm not taking no for an answer, we are setting up your Blu-ray player.
Okay.
I'll order a pizza or whatever. We'll get party mix and we get whatever. Yeah. And we're going to sit down and we're going to have a back-to-back Grumpy Old Men marathon, and you will wet your pants. It is the most, because it's just that great. It's humor that doesn't exist anymore. It's just like real humor. They're not relying on like dick jokes and weed jokes and drinking jokes and all of this like stupid shit that you see nowadays, right? Like it's just like old-fashioned, excellent comedy, and it's happening. I may even make what'll likely end up happening now that I know. You know, there's movies that you hold near and like so near and dear to your heart that when there's a friend that you find out that hasn't seen them, you're like, okay, we're making a point of seeing this. I did this with you with Back to the Future. Yeah, all three of them. I will likely lie to you and say, oh yeah, I happen to be in town on such and such day. When really tomorrow. I'm making a trip tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow. We're gonna, we'll sit and watch these. But I come hell or high water. We don't even have to do an episode on them, but we should. Sure. We don't even have to do an episode on them. But we're going to sit, you and I are going to sit and watch the Grumpy Old Men 1 and Grumpy Old Men 2. And I forbid you are forbade from watching them prior to that or looking up anything about them or or anything. They're so freaking good, man.
Oh, wow. Well, I think maybe that might be our next Movie Men company retreat, because Face Off really didn't land that well. As far as, like, it was a fun time, but the movie wasn't that great. So maybe this would be redemption.
Fairly certain Carl's seen the first one. I'm not sure if he's seen the second one. And regardless, he would totally be down, because the relationship between the Grumpy Old Man is about two guys that have been friends their entire life, and now they're old and they're grumpy towards each other, but at heart they're best friends for life. And it is Carl and I to a T. Like, these two guys greet each other and it's like, "Hiya, moron, morning, dickhead." Like, that's just that's right. And it's like Carl and I through and through. Every time I call Carl, he answers the phone. "Hey, stupid." Like, it's just, we're absolutely, this has to happen. And it has to happen. We'll do a Valentine's Day Movie Men retreat. Why not?
Why not?
Nothing more romantic than, your wife won't mind us doing that on Valentine's Day, right? Yeah, you've got nothing planned. Okay, good.
All right, let's get to Mrs. Doubtfire, shall we?
Yeah. Did you? So you sort of tipped me off that there was some Robin Williams things happening. Is that happening now or later?
Probably not. It'll probably be in the meat.
Okay.
In the meat of the episode.
Okay. Meaty. Do you have trivia?
Yeah. Little tidbit housekeeping trivia to start with. Okay. Wild. Second highest grossing film of 1993 was this film.
Only Wild because it should have been number one.
Well, but Jurassic Park was a real killer.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Tim Allen was offered both the roles of Mrs. Doubtfire and Stu.
Yeah. No, I don't. No.
I love Pierce Brosnan. It was great casting choice. True or false? Robin Williams' brother actually plays Daniel Hillard's brother, the studio makeup artist.
Oh, false. That's Harvey Fierstein.
You're correct. It is false.
Super false.
However, the actor playing the bartender at the pool scene is actually Robin Williams' half-brother, so Robert Williams.
Oh, really? That's two Rob Williams. That's a little left up, but okay. I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
My final trivia question is, what preparation was needed for Robin Williams in the scenes where he played Mrs. Doubtfire? So was it simply that he needed to just put on a prosthetic mask like we see in the movie? Was it several hours of studio level makeup and effects? Or was it, 30 minutes of, just around the house makeup and just doing what a normal person that age would do with makeup and kind of, using at-home tricks to get it done?
Well, so you're at a disadvantage here because it is a movie that's important to me and near and dear. So I've done my due diligence. I've watched reunions. I've seen all the deleted scenes. Which, by the way,
I don't think I've done that.
Oh my God! There is a deleted scene that I maintain as some of them are just whatever. But there's a deleted scene that I will send you later that I maintain is an absolute travesty that it wasn't left in the film, which we'll get into. But so I know that this was hours of makeup and that this was cutting edge. It was not just like, oh, well, we'll do what they've done on other films. This was it was a big deal, this makeup.
It was. You're absolutely right. So it was several hours in a studio. There were about, I think 8 different layers or 8 different components. It was very complex, took hours, about 4 to 4.5 hours. So it was a complete process. It wasn't just slapping something on. So it was quite the ordeal.
Pierce Brosnan tells a story about first arriving on set and not having seen pictures, didn't know what the Mrs. Doubtfire makeup was going to be, and sitting on a bench or something next to Robin in the makeup for a good 5 minutes, talking to him before Robin started using his actual voice, and Pierce almost shit himself. So but it just goes to show that like every so often in film, we'll do something where in person, like we do this a lot with props, we do it with some makeup and stuff like that, where you go, well, but it'll play fine on camera. It'll look good on camera. This looked good in person. Like in person,
right.
You couldn't tell that this wasn't a 65-year-old woman.
I heard other stories of other characters. I think one of maybe the son as well, with a similar experience where
Matthew Lawrence,
where he was in the room doing maybe even his audition. I'm not sure what, but something similar where it wasn't until further in the process he went, wait, that is Robin Williams there, and it's just incredible, like incredible.
There's Robin was instrumental in not only some of the casting of the kids, but really in their ability to be able to do the film. I can't remember. It was either Matthew Lawrence or Lisa Jacob, who played Lydia, who I think it might have been Mara Wilson, whose school, because it's worth noting, this is like, we see Mara Wilson and we go, okay, yeah, like Miracle on 34th Street and Matilda and A Simple Wish and Mrs. Like, she's the 90s, she's the female equivalent of Macaulay Culkin in the 90s, right? She's just like, she was in everything. Yeah. This is her first role. This is introducing Mara Wilson. And I believe it was her, and her school was fighting back and basically said, you know, if she misses the time that is required for her to miss to do this film, like, she'll be expelled, or she'll be like, her school just basically said no, right? They weren't going to cooperate until Robin got on the phone with the principal and like pleaded. And like, I can't wrap my head around being a principal of some bullshit backwater school in the 90s, and your phone rings, and you know it's whatever, PTA leader, or it's superintendent, whoever, or it's, you know, whatever. No, it's Robin Williams. Robin Williams would like to talk to you to try to convince you to let this little girl come and have the opportunity of a lifetime.
So I'm not sure if we're crossing stories or if there were two different stories, but this for sure happened with Lisa Jacob, the older daughter.
It may have been her. It totally may have been her.
What actually, because I just watched this interview last night.
Oh, it's probably her then.
She's from Toronto. Well, I don't know if she's from Toronto, but she was living in Toronto, and that's where her school was. And
nobody's
Robin
from
Williams,
Toronto.
Yeah, like you said, she was getting either going to be expelled or threatening of getting expelled.
Oh, yeah, it's totally her then.
And Robin Williams actually sent a letter to the principal. But the real bollocks part of it is the principal framed the letter, put it up in his office, and have one hundo. But they still expelled her. So she was like,
oh, holy shit.
Yeah. So it's just...
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, but... hashtag worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Like, just,
you know, like, whatever.
Like, come on.
Yeah, whatever.
I wanted to find out what school it was, but I didn't dig that deep, and I was like, what am I going to do? Throw some eggs at it? Maybe. Make me feel better, but I didn't.
Well, I mean, I live in Toronto, so I...
You got me. You got me.
And back. I've got nothing planned for tomorrow.
I have to say... this is super random, but Bridges Restaurant, like, if I were to ever start a restaurant, I want to start a restaurant named Bridges Restaurant.
Would you have it be very similar?
Yeah. I think I'd probably do it identical.
Yeah.
And I would try and get
very similar to us.
And I would try to get Pierce Brosnan to come to, like, the opening night.
That's not very similar to us. That's very indicative of us. That's the difference between us.
Right.
Is I would have a totally different restaurant.
Sure. And that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Let's do some initial impressions.
Yeah. Listen, I was raised on this film. Right? Like we had it on VHS. It's one of, if not, no, I would say it's my mom's favorite Robin Williams film.
Nice. There's no shame in that.
So I was certainly raised, and she'll message me tomorrow as soon as this episode goes up, and she'll be like, 'cause she did that the other day. Actually, she did that. She'd listened to our top 5 Christmas movies episode.
Yes. Yep.
And she messaged me and she said, "Oh my God, you were not watching Christmas Vacation too young." And then she messaged me, or it might have been a text message. I think it was a text message a couple of days ago. And she said, she'd listened to episode 250 and she said, "You don't think that John Travolta is a good actor? Who are your parents?" Or like it's something to that effect.
That's hilarious.
And I was like, yeah, I didn't reply to that one. I don't know that I replied to either, actually. So yeah, it was definitely raised on this movie. This is the movie that got me into Aerosmith. This is the movie that probably fundamentally, like aside from stuff like Flubber, this would be the movie that got me into Robin Williams.
Oh, wow.
Because it's one of those films that has enough adult humor that's going to sort of fly over kids' heads, but the concept of it and the execution of it is still wildly entertaining to kids.
Yeah.
You know, because you can put yourself in the kids' shoes and you can go like, well, what if my dad did this? And so, yeah, no, this is a movie that has always, and I can say with a great deal of confidence, will always be near and dear. And it's hard to, I'm prepared, unless you say something that totally surprises me and makes me rethink my life, I'm prepared to defend just about any grievance that may be thrown at this film today.
That's funny.
Because I think it's masterfully done. I think it's one of those movies that is not only a classic and really great, but just about anything that someone could poke a hole at it with, I can explain to you why that's intentional and why it's genius. Why this is a very well thought out movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
That's solid. My initial impressions are, I love that we are reviewing this movie because I feel like we referenced it a little bit when we did our 007 series of all the Pierce Brosnan years, where I think we had a running joke, or at least we said it once, where like we should review Mrs. Doubtfire as part of this 007 series just because Pierce Brosnan is in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
And
that's why I've ranked it in all 8 categories.
How would you rank the Bond girl in this movie? Sally Field.
Oh, Sally Field is a 10 out of 10. I mean, what do you
gotta love the
say?
independent woman.
The whole time? Yeah, no. She's...
yeah, no. Iconic film. I remember growing up with it. I remember watching it in the hospital. I don't even know why I was there. I wasn't like on death's doorstep. I was there for I don't even know what. But
yeah, I think that's where most people are first exposed to it.
I mean, it makes sense, right? It's calm, it's fun.
Laughter is the greatest medicine.
It is. As shown in Patch Adams. But yeah, I remember watching this as a kid in the hospital. I remember watching it growing up. Obviously, I grew up with it as well. But unlike certain movies where you watch it as a kid, I feel like this movie definitely has some legs. Obviously, it really holds up. Like you said, there's things that you glean from it watching it as an adult. And yeah, just for the accomplishment of what Robin Williams does in this. And I feel like just as an accomplishment for the film, I do think it has holds a candle and has some weight here, where it has a bit of a commentary, a bit of reassurance to children who are part of mixed families, part of broken homes, or part of families that are going through some changing periods. And I feel like there's just something very commendable about that. And I'll end my initial impression by leading into one of our conversation topics here, because the only real conversation topics I have are more like pointed questions of what do you think about this, and this will be the first one. So, my hot
excites me.
My hot take is scenes with Mrs. Doubtfire I found are more incredible than with Robin Williams himself, and I don't know what that means, and so I'm not sure if it's just because of the comedic nature of Mrs. Doubtfire and the heartwarming nature of when she's on scene. So I'm not sure if it's that, or if I'm not sure if it's just, I don't know what it means. I might be digging too deep if thinking there's something deeper there. But my initial question then was, what does this mean for the greater body of work for Robin Williams, that I liked the scenes without him, quote unquote, and him as camouflaged to someone else? What are your top Robin Williams films? Like, for me, I think it's another film where he's not himself, or he's not on screen. I love Aladdin. That'd be my number one rendition.
Oh, really? That's your number one Robin Williams film?
Yeah, and I
Which
don't
is
say
not
that
even like strictly. He's the most notable name in it for sure.
Of course, a key player in that. But you're right. He's not like the main character. Mrs. Doubtfire would probably be number 2. Good Will Hunting, I got at 3. And then 4, 5, I just kind of put Jack and Dead Poet Society in there.
Well,
just
you said
those two.
top 3. What the hell's happening?
I'm kind of I'm playing both sides
because I can give you 5. You want to go 5?
You're welcome to. But just in the general Robin Williams questions, what are your top Robin Williams films, and where does this rank on that?
And these have to be in order?
I did, yeah. So Aladdin was like clearly number 1, and then it went to Miss Doubtfire.
And sorry, and what was number 3? Oh, Good Will Hunting. That doesn't surprise me.
Jack.
It was either going to be Good Will Hunting or Dead Poet Society for you. Just like knowing you.
And believe it or not, I put Dead Poet Society as number 5, Jack number 4. I'm not a huge Dead Poet Society person. I think it's overhyped. It's mid. It's okay. But John Williams in that is incredible, where he gets on a knee with his kids and he says, law, medicine, these are all
John
noble
Williams? Robin Williams.
You know what I meant.
Yeah.
Robin Williams.
Different Williams.
John Williams pops out and starts conducting. No, Robin Williams, when he just says, these are all noble professions, but that's not why we do things.
Okay,
it's art that infuses us.
In order. Am I going in order of which ones I think are his best films, or which ones I am most likely to put on and feel warm and fuzzy about?
It can go both ways. It might be a blend of the two. Like it's hard to say.
My top 3 are my top 3, no matter which direction I go. It just may, the order may swap out a little bit.
Sure.
Okay. Number 1. How do I rank these top 3?
Right.
Which order do I put them in? Because I'm going to regret it no matter what I pick. I'm going to regret it
for the rest of your life.
Immediately following. Okay. I'm going to say number 1 is Mrs. Doubtfire.
Wow. Yep. So this is it. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to say number 2 is Hook.
Oh yeah, that made it. I wondered. Assumed that would make it for you. Yep.
Number 3 is Bicentennial Man.
Right, which you throw some praise for. I still need to see.
And this is, I'm going warm fuzzy factor. If we were going best films he's ever done, then Bicentennial Man would be at the top.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to add a different one, which is not comfortable. In 1 hour photo, I thought you were referring to that.
No, that doesn't make my top 5.
It's not. But it's a great role that's very polar opposite to all these ones we're mentioning of his.
And then 4 and 5 in no particular order would be Good Morning Vietnam.
I still need to see that. Interesting.
Oh yeah, you do.
Okay.
We need to set aside a day. Because I've got so many movies that I want to be in the room when you witness.
Grumpy Old Men
and Good Morning Vietnam. Just like any party you've been to. And then And then a movie that, like, he's got some amazing things, like Patch Adams, Jack, Flubber is up there.
Yeah, I remember seeing Flubber as a kid.
Jumanji is up there for me.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's a solid classic.
Toys being a really weird movie, but
yeah,
still The Birdcage, him and Nathan Lane. But honestly, from a sheer, and it's a crummy movie. Like on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 58 tomato meter score and a 39 audience score. But something just about, like, it's Robin Williams being Robin Williams, I really get a kick out of his performance in the live action Popeye movie.
Again, haven't seen. Interesting.
Really? So yeah, it's him as Are you familiar with the cartoon?
Oh yeah.
So it's him as Popeye and Shelley Duvall, who played the wife in The Shining, as Olive Oil.
Wow.
And those are probably, like, some of the other actors in it are serious actors,
sure,
given their day. Like Paul L. Smith played Bluto, and but nowadays you wouldn't recognize really any of the other names. But it's an incredible movie in that it's movie making like they don't do anymore. Like, they built this full fishing village set, which is still sitting there and abandoned to this day, by the way. But they just, like, built the set, and Robin's wearing these, like, prosthetic arm sleeves, so he's got, like, the big tumorous Popeye arms,
right?
And one eye always closed with a corncob pipe, and he's like, you can't understand half of what he's saying because he's saying it, he's imitating Popeye. Yeah, it's maybe when we get to 1980, right, in our votes, it will come around. I kind of highly doubt it. I don't think it's held with high regard among a lot of people. And like I said, I can acknowledge it's kind of a shit film. But just something about, like, I don't like it necessarily for the movie that it is.
Sure.
But I just enjoy watching Robin Williams in it, doing, like, perfecting his craft, doing a role that I'm not sure anybody else could do.
Right. Yeah, I can imagine that role would be quite something.
I am what I am.
So my thought, the next question that I would ask you, how do you feel about the ending? And I feel like there's two ways to feel about it. The first is, when I'm watching it, even this time, there's times I'm rooting for the couple to reconvene, where they're Mrs. Doubtfire and Sally Field are sitting at the table with each other, and Sally Field lists all the bad things that happened, and Mrs. Doubtfire says, "Oh, but there must have been some good things too." And there you get little hints of, like, okay, there is a history with them. There's some things that were good about their relationship. So, in the cliche, everything wrapped with a nice bow at the end, do you wish it would have followed that? Or do you think that would have been a missed opportunity with what we get in the actual film that exists on Earth as we have it, that it's more reality-laced, emotionally powerful, where we have this character where she says, "I'm a better person apart from Robin," and, just the tale of parents being good parents, but just not good for each other, and just, you get a bit more of an impactful message as a result of it. Where do you land on it? I know you love this movie, so I'm not saying you would want to change anything, but just of those two camps, where do you lie?
So my answer has changed over the years. So when I was a kid, I did not like endings that weren't the cliche happy ending, right? Because you're a kid, you want everything to work out, and you've got that Disney princess point of view where true love is true love, and that's what a happy ending is, right?
Yeah.
Parents are meant to stay together, and kids are meant to eat the candy, and life goes on. And an example of this, like, so that always kind of irked me. Another example where I couldn't get, like, where this has changed for me was it was my grade 8 Ottawa trip. So in Canada, or specifically in Ontario, it doesn't matter what school you go to, it seems that come grade 8, your school packs up and they head to Ottawa. You did that?
No, because
Really?
I went to school in a different province at that age, so I was not part of the.
So
but I've heard about this. I'm familiar
in
with what you're
Ontario.
talking
So what
about.
province did you go to school in?
Northern. I don't want to tell you.
No. Come on.
No,
Like a prairie or a maritime?
Prairie.
So you all went to like, it's your grade 8 Stampede visit.
And you got a free rancher's hat.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell else is on the... what the hell else is in the prairies? We're going to go see an oil rig today. Fantastic. Okay, so anyways, in Ontario,
Yes.
for grade 8, your school packs up and you hop on a coach bus and you go to Ottawa. And you see Parliament, you see a war museum, you go to Rideau Hall and see the home of the Governor General, and
Sure.
you just like all these different, some science centery bullshit. And I don't know why this was part of the grade 8 Ottawa trip. The only thing that I can figure out is that they were like, maybe something else that they had planned, some sort of tour got canceled, or they just didn't know how to fill. They didn't know how to fill all our time there. But we went to the movies. We got to go see a movie. Yeah.
Nice.
And there were two options for you. You got your choice. You could go see this, or you could go see that. And one of them, this is going to age me a bit. In grade 8, one of the options was Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. So the third Fast and the Furious movie. And the other option was the Jennifer Aniston, Vince Vaughn
Yeah.
romantic comedy, The Breakup.
Yep.
And without a doubt, like pretty much straight across the board, all the guys went to go see Fast and the Furious, and all the girls went to go see The Breakup. It was just kind of how the division of our class worked. But I wasn't really big into car films and stereotypical guy stuff, and I hadn't seen the first two, and rumor had it you got to see Jennifer Aniston's butt in The Breakup. So grade 8 me was like, I'm going to go see The Breakup. Like, you get to see naked Jennifer Aniston in this? That's count me in. So I went to go see The Breakup, and sure enough. But so at the end of that film, they spoil it. I mean, it's been out for 20 years. They don't get back together. And I was like, what? Like, that's not a happy ending. It's not a happy ending. And it was so hard as a kid to see a movie where a couple breaks up. If they don't get back together in the end, then that's not a happy ending. It was hard not to see it as anything other than that's an unhappy ending. But as I've grown and aged horrifically, that perspective has changed, right? And you go, oh, this is a realistic ending. This is a real ending where people have moved on with their life. They have found purpose, and they've found meaning, and they've found happiness despite no longer being in the relationship that they were in. And they've found a way to still communicate and to be friends. And maybe there's hope down the road. Maybe they'll rekindle. But that's not a part of this story.
Right.
And this is what it is. And this is how real life works. And honestly, had they gotten back together, I think it would ruin the movie. Because I think it would just feel too cliche, cookie cutter finish. Yeah, of course they got back together. No, there was nothing like Robin learned how to do household chores. He was less involved in work and found more time to connect with his children in a responsible, reasonable way, not a violating their grounding and throwing a house party kind of way, but in a real like parental child mentorship way. But a lot of the problems that were there that caused them to get divorced were still there.
Right.
Like those things hadn't changed. Yeah. And so simply getting back together would not have been realistic or smart. So no, I honestly, as a kid, it irked me something fierce.
Right.
As an adult, I'm like, this is a brilliant ending.
Yep.
You did not go after the low-hanging fruit when you totally could have.
Fair. Yep.
What about you, though?
No, I agree. I think, emotionally the knee-jerk is let's have something where they get back together. But then you lose the weight and the emphasis of the message that's told in Mrs. Doubtfire's montage and at the end of the film of just, bringing encouragement to children who, are feeling that it's their fault or feeling that these things are their fault when their parents are arguing or upset. So no, I agree. Like it would cheapen the movie, and it really has layers and really rings true the way they've wrapped it up. Yeah. My last question, and not the last thing to talk about, but the last main thing anyway. The last things are just rapid fire for me. What are your thoughts on the concept that there was, who knows how close it got to being made, but there was talk about the canceled sequel. I guess the first thought of it was in the mid-2000s, and then it kind of trickled in again in the early 2010s. And sadly, obviously, we know the passing of Williams, but Chris Columbus, the last conversation he had with Williams actually was about this project of talking about a potential sequel or what it would look like. And I don't know how I feel about that as far as if it needed to happen. But an interesting point that I read Chris Columbus saying was, unlike a lot of sequels that take place 5, 10, however many years later, it would have been a unique sequel that just because of who Mrs. Doubtfire is and the prosthetic ability that it takes to create her, like there wouldn't have been a transitional change for the audience to get used to. It's not like, seeing one of the kids growing up in a sequel or some such is just, who's
she would have appeared the same age.
She would have been appearing the same. So how do you feel about a sequel? Like, obviously we never got that point and it's completely off the table now, but where do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on which canceled sequel you want to talk about. So in 2001, 2001, Bonnie Hunt actually began developing a sequel. And Robin was set to return, and everything was going great. And then they started writing the sequel in 2000, I want to say 2, maybe 2003. But then it just kind of sat on the back burner for a bit. In like mid 2000s, 2005, 2006, they began rewriting it because Robin wasn't he wasn't happy with it. And it was kind of one of those things, like Robin had said, if I don't think it's worth doing, I'm not going to do it.
Which is the right answer.
And you can't do another one without him.
Yeah.
Like it's just not, Then sort of early 2010s, during an interview, Robin talked about the script not being right. People were asking him like, where is it? Is it going to happen? And he said, the script's just not right. They've written it 3 or 4 times and it's just not, it's not what it needs to be. And then, in 2014, and I remember this, they announced it. They announced that the sequel was in development and they were working on it. And Williams was coming back, and Christopher Columbus was coming back, and Matthew Lawrence and Lisa Jakub and Pierce Brosnan were coming back.
Oh, wow.
What was interesting was Mara Wilson had no interest. So Natalie was not going to return. But by 2014, Mara Wilson had pretty much stopped. Like, she was done acting, right?
Sure.
She's not in anything anymore, really. And then, after he died, after Robin passed away, Christopher Columbus just basically came out and said that, it's not possible without Robin. Mm-hmm. We're not going to do another because we can't do it without him. Yeah. So, a sequel, it's hard to say, I think, had a sequel come out in the early 2000s? Had a sequel come out in the early 2000s, it would have come out when I was like 10, 11, 12. And I would have been young enough just to accept that this was Mrs. Doubtfire 2. Mm. And so you just kind of roll with it. And it's just like, Mm-hmm. You just kind of roll with it, that it's the next film. Mm-hmm. I think in 2014, I was equally excited and equally dubious.
Yeah.
It's like you think back to like the first Ghostbusters.
Right.
By the time I was born, there was a second Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. And so you don't question it. You're just like, wow, there's 2 Ghostbusters movies. Right. And had they released another Ghostbusters when I was 8, you're too young to really catch wind of these sort of productions. You don't understand that they're developing something, that there's another one coming. All of a sudden, there's just another one. And when you're 8, you may not even know that it hit theaters, right? Yeah. Just someday you're browsing through the video rental store and there's a new one, right? And you watch it. Whereas now I'm the age where that stuff, like, I can weigh in on it, and I have feelings and concern. Like, I'm emotionally mature enough to have concerns and understand development processes and understand how hard it is to get this right. Mm-hmm. After all these years. I don't know. I mean, is the first one perfect as it is? I would say yes.
Yeah, I would agree.
Had they followed it up with another one right away, had it been the same director, the same writers, the same cast, I mean, I have all the confidence in the world. Not that it would be as good or better than the first one,
sure,
but that we would, in 2023, that we would acknowledge that we have a worthy sequel.
And cherish it even if it's a lesser extent, we'd still cherish it.
Yeah, it would still be, it would be the follow-up. It would be part 2. Yeah, if Robin were still with us today, and they announced it tomorrow, as they are doing with so many, like Carl and I talked about that on the news show this week, just this like onslaught of legacy sequels that we're getting 20, 30, 40, 50 years after the fact. I would be extremely cautiously optimistic.
For sure.
I would certainly go see it in the theater.
Of course.
I'd be first in line.
Yep.
But I would be highly critical.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to be highly critical because I acknowledge that hurts my chances and my potential to thoroughly enjoy it. But I can't help it.
Yeah.
Right? I can't help. And it's not even, it's so bizarre because it's like, it's not, there are films from the time I was a child or before that I discovered as in my late teens or a young adult that I acknowledge are fantastic. I acknowledge are lightning in a bottle. But I think I would be completely open to a remake or a sequel.
Yep.
Yeah, sure, do another one. But there are films, even if they're not highly regarded by the general public, that are intrinsic to my childhood, that I have an emotional and nostalgic attachment to, that make it difficult for me to wrap my head around the next one 30 years later. Right? It's like after years and years of talks and scripts and script rewrites and shelved scripts and whatever else, Brad Pitt's production company is finally moving forward on a new Beetlejuice movie, a sequel.
Right.
And they're talking about, it sounds like they're doing everything right, like Winona Ryder and Michael Keaton. But I can't help but worry. Like, just, please understand what it is that you're dealing with. Understand that you have my childhood in your hands. And I don't know what that says about me. I don't know what kind of sick, twisted, warped childhood I had that I consider Beetlejuice my childhood. Beetlejuice and Addams Family, and I just wonder I turned out the way I did. But yeah. So I don't know. It's hard to say. Had they made one when they first intended on making one, I think I'd welcome it with open arms.
Yeah, that's
because I'd be too young to know the difference.
Yep.
Does the end of this film beg for a sequel? No. It ends in a perfectly well wrapped up with a bow kind of way.
Yep.
Have there been films that have ended that way and have still gone on to make incredible sequels? Absolutely. Have there been films that have begged for a sequel and then delivered flaming dog shit on your porch? Yeah, absolutely. Right? So, I don't know. It's not a film that needed a sequel.
No.
And I think maybe even by 2014, quite possibly it would have been far too late.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
But had there been one...
we would have watched it.
Had there been one closer to the release of the first one, I think I would have been there for it, for sure.
Yeah. No, I think I would mirror that. I would mirror that.
Yeah. Cool.
Where else? What else do you want to cover? Because the last things that I'll go through are just rapid fire at the very end. Yeah.
Well, I want to touch on just sort of a cute memory.
Yeah.
From when I was a kid. So there's this movie's so like, it's so smart in its humor and it's really well done and the makeup's incredible and it's humorous and extremely quotable. I find myself quoting it all, like specifically the whole time. Like I quote Sally Field at that restaurant, like
Bridges
going out of style. Yeah. Like it's going out of style. And it was a runaway fruit cart. Like I saw the whole thing and it's so good. It was a drive-by fruiting. But there's one line that, as a kid, you like mispronounce things or you mishear a movie line and you quote it wrong, but you're too young to know the difference. Right. And your parents kind of laugh at you and think you're really cute when you do it, but you don't know why they're laughing and you just continue to quote it. So there's a scene during the Dude Looks Like a Lady, the Aerosmith's Dude Looks Like a Lady montage where Mrs. Doubtfire is walking down the street and she gets mugged. Some guy tries to take her purse and she scares the shit out of him. Like it's not a successful mugging. Yeah. But he breaks the strap on the purse. And Mrs. Doubtfire's line is, "He broke my bag, the bastard." Well, as a kid, that's not how I heard it. Because I think as a kid, like, bastard hadn't even entered my lexicon of words. So I think my brain was like, well, it can't be that. And it's like it fills in the blanks. It like, what's closest to that? And, oh, that's what it must be. And so as a kid, I would quote that line often. And for whatever reason, I mean, I'm like 5 or 6 at this point, right? And I would say, he broke my bag of pasta. Because I didn't, and my mom would laugh every time. And I think secretly they were just relieved that that's how I was quoting it.
Right.
I wasn't saying bastard at 5, 6, 7 years old.
Thank God.
Yeah, that's a fond, when I watch this, that's a fond memory for me. But yeah, what a star-studded cast. Like Robin Williams, Sally Field, who's not a nobody at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Pierce Brosnan, who I'm pretty sure is already James Bond at this point. Is he not?
He is not. He is not.
Ooh, but he's about to be.
GoldenEye was in 95, so he's a couple years away, which I found surprising. I would have thought he was mid-Bond at this point.
But he's got the look.
He's got it.
Like he's at that age where he looks like Bond. Yeah. Matthew Lawrence, who is not huge at this point, but has been acting for like 10 years in various jobs and is part of the Lawrence family of actors, right? It's a well-known, famous family of actors, the Lawrence brothers. Mara Wilson, we talked about, who is, goes on after this to be the bee's knees of of the acting world, really. We talked about Harvey Fierstein as Uncle Frank. See, that's one of those jokes that as a kid, and it's weird because nowadays it wouldn't play as a joke. But in 1993, when they asked, who did this to you? And Robin Williams says, Uncle Frank and Aunt Jack.
Right.
It's a hilarious line. It's so funny. And as a kid, you don't get it. And then as an adult, you do get it. And then now it's like, okay, what? So they're a male gay couple. Like what's, but in 1993, that line was golden. You have Anne Haney as Mrs. Sellner. And I think she's fantastic in this role. The other thing that she's in a lot of things. The other thing I know her from is she plays Greta, who is Jim Carrey's secretary in Liar Liar.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, just a star-studded cast, fantastically cast, fantastically written, well directed. I mean, you've got Chris Columbus, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And not a lot of people, like, Chris Columbus is one of those names that I feel like in the 21st century has fallen into a little bit of obscurity. But let me give you a little rundown here of Chris Columbus. Well, let's not talk about producer credits. Let's just talk about directing credits, because that's what really matters. First thing he ever directed was Adventures in Babysitting. That's amazing. Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
Home Alone 2.
Yep.
Mrs. Doubtfire. 9 Months with Hugh Grant. Bicentennial Man. The first 2 Harry Potter films.
Right.
Yeah. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. The Lightning Thief.
Yeah.
Pixels, the Adam Sandler movie. And the sequel to The Christmas Chronicles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, he's not a nobody. He's not a nobody at all in the world of film. And then you look at, I mean, his producing credits are 10 times more impressive, right? Christmas with the Cranks, Rent, Night at the Museum, The Help, The Witch. He was executive producer on The Witch, which I won't hold against him, but I know that excites you. Yeah. I mean, the man's on fire. He's all over the place.
Yeah, he is.
So, no, I mean, Mrs. Doubtfire, I think is damn near a perfect film.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah, damn near.
That's fair.
Hit me with your rapid fire.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So, yeah, I just love a moment that really stuck out to me from a comedic perspective that I just never really appreciated before was the whole caseworker Robin Williams Mrs. Doubtfire moment where he just has all these one-liners where, you know, he's talking about a job and let me bring you abreast of my career changes where he's removing his girdle or he's taking out his false teeth and he's like, yeah, I've got this job I can sink my teeth into or I don't have to save face. All these like one-liners that I never realized just were like so comedically timed. And I felt like that was just a good representation of this film of just being so on point as far as humor and wit and well-written and
Carpe
comedic
dentum.
timing.
Seize the teeth.
Yeah, yeah. Which
oh
apparently,
my God.
apparently at Bridges Restaurant, that whole teeth bit falling out was actually kind of impromptu, like was not planned. So,
I'm
like,
sure
it just
Robin's
threw
the
people
type
off.
Robin's the type of guy that there is no blooper until until you can't possibly help it.
Yeah.
Right. Like he was extremely professional in that sense that he knew how to take anything and roll with it.
Well,
and
I
as
guess,
long as everyone else could keep a straight face or as straight a face as the scene needed, then we could still save this and we could make it better than it was ever written.
And I think this must have happened a lot, but when I was watching the interviews with those child actors at the time, the scene where they're all talking as a family, and I forget what Robin Williams delivered, but it was after he broke off the Mercedes symbol and gave it to Pierce Brosnan, where he did something off the cuff and was unplanned, and like one of the child actors laughed, and they were worried that they had ruined the take. And I can only imagine that whether it was the adult actors or the children actors, that would have been always a recurring problem where they just something caught them off guard because of something he said, and just would have been, oh my gosh, I hope I didn't ruin a take because, yeah.
Because we were dealing in film. It wasn't just like delete it and keep going.
Yeah.
Bloopers cost money.
Yeah. You know what? Shout out to the son who reminded me of the 90s wear a shirt that's like 3 sizes larger than you need that like goes to your knees. I forgot that was a thing with t-shirts back then. Also wild that they were like, I think they refer to Mrs. Doubtfire as a 60-year-old woman, and I go, what? Like, she looks way older than 60. That's just me.
That's rude. Maybe she drank a lot in her 40s.
The drink did kill her husband.
Yeah, well, it was a
Guinness
beer truck.
Guinness truck.
Was it a Guinness truck?
Yeah.
They name drop, don't they?
They did.
Yeah.
I forgot the reason that he actually quit his acting job. And I forgot that because I thought it was supposed to be this transient, actor who's just kind of like flops out of jobs.
No,
and
it's
I forgot
honorable.
that it was like, it was like an honorable, like, you know what? You did the right thing.
Yeah, Budgie the parrot doesn't smoke.
Yeah. And my last point, I just love San Francisco as a backdrop in film. Both geographically, just the hills and like just it's crazy the hills like in this house where your driveway is like on this super like incredibly angled street.
Yeah,
but
thank God they don't have snow.
Oh my Lord, just can't even. But yeah, you've got this, you've got The Rock. I think Junior's set in San Francisco too. So I just love movies with the backdrop of San Francisco. There's something fun and quaint about it. So that is, yeah, just the hills and the architecture and the homes too, I would say. It's fun to watch. So that is all I have to say.
All right, sir. Well, what did you watch this week?
Well, shouldn't we rank this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, do you want to do that? Would you give it on a scale of 0 to 10?
I gave it an 8 out of 10. My gosh, it's a solid movie. I would actually see this in movie theater someday. I know it's not like a visually effects heavy movie, but it is a cherished classic that if I paid for a babysitter to do all those things to get out of the house and see this in the theater, I wouldn't regret it at all. So an 8 out of 10. What do you give it? Because you said it's dang near perfect, so it's got to be close.
It's a 9.8.
Solid. Wow. Very close to perfect. Very
Yeah.
close. Did this make it in your top 10 films? No, I don't think it did.
No,
No. Okay.
no, but I
But it's
mean,
a dang near perfect.
only
movie.
because there's too many films.
Of course. Yeah.
Like it's top 20 for sure.
Fair enough.
And I
Yep.
mean, if you asked me tomorrow to rank my top 10, it might very well
Sure.
make it into the top 10. Right?
Yep.
It's just too many movies to do a top 10.
Yeah.
Just too many movies.
It's too many.
All right, sir, what'd you watch?
All right. Well, this week, what I watched actually will coincide with the vote. So I talked about I wanted to watch Free Willy because it got some voting options and it rang my bell. So I'm going to talk about Free Willy in the what I watched this section. And you said you've never seen it.
I mean, I've seen the scene where the whale jumps over the wall.
Wow. There goes the...
I mean, I've seen the scene where they free Willy.
Or they
So I
tried
mean, I
to.
feel like I've seen it. That's
Yeah.
I don't know, because I feel like the plot of Free Willy 1 and the plot of Free Willy 3 is probably like, it's just like, oh, and then it happened to another kid. Like
It's like Prison Break where they
I
somehow
don't know. He's
get
like
back
what?
put
He's
in
like
jail
he's like a troubled youth or something.
Well,
He's
let
like
me tell you. Let me tell you what it's about.
Well, I'm just trying to tell you like whether because maybe I've seen it, but I don't know. Right?
Let me tell you, and you can see if it
Okay.
rings a bell.
All right.
So when Orphan Jesse vandalizes a theme park, he's placed with foster parents and must work at the park to make amends. That's where he meets Willie, a young orca whale who has been separated from his family. So the whale senses a bit of a kinship here, and both have this commonality of being separated from their families. And as a result, the boy and the whale form a pretty exclusive bond, unlike any of the other park workers. So I watched this, and again, this must have been a week where I just appreciated the backdrop of films, because I also really appreciate the Pacific Northwest in film. Like, I love Washington State, BC. I loved this backdrop as a film. I feel like for the 1990s, it was one thing, nowadays when you've got Planet Earth and all these things where you could find like stock whale footage to use. But I feel like this movie must have blown a lot of money on a budget for all the whale footage that they used in the wild. Like, just, it was impressive. It was fun. And I would just say, at a different time, that probably wasn't cheap to do. Because it's easy to go whale watching and like see nothing. So, I mean, it's kind of like fishing. You're at the mercy of the fates. As far as cast, it's got some interesting faces. It's got a couple that I appreciate. But the two that stand out, the caseworker for this child is actually Bubba from Forrest Gump. Makita.
really?
Yeah, McKelty Williamson. And this would have been pre-Forrest Gump, because I think Forrest Gump was 94. So that was interesting. Also seeing Michael Madsen in a fatherly role. I've only seen him in thug movies of Tarantino. So I saw him in Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill, Volume 1 and 2. So seeing him as a quote-unquote father figure was quite different. And I was there for it. I would say, as far as how the movie holds out, how it stands up, this kid is the main character, is such a conceited brat. It gets a little straining after a while. I'm like, okay, kid, get over yourself. It's all he misinterprets everything for everyone against him and him against the world. But the 90s nostalgia was strong for this movie, and there's things that aren't accurate. They free a whale, and I did a bit of research. Like, it takes insane amount of preparation and its complexity upon complexity to transition a whale to get back into the wild successfully. And sadly, I think the whale that they used for this film, they tried to do that and they did it properly. Like, they did all the transitional steps, and sadly, like a few years later, it died because it just kept trying to like go back to humans for food, and it had been captured too young and been too long in captivity. So I guess my point is, the movie, has some inaccuracies, has some character annoyance with the main character, but the 90s nostalgia was strong. And the last thing I'll say is it's cool, and it relates to that necklace that you referred in the third movie. There's something that they tie to the whale in this, that it's not just a boy, it's not just a whale in a fish tank. There's a timelessness and a majesty that they give to the whale in this movie. And there's one of the characters who shares an indigenous lore of the whales and their origin and how it relates to, this whale, and looking right into the soul of the boy. And, I thought it added to the companionship with the child, and it was touching, and it gave it some really neat backstory. And I was actually there for it. I watched this as a kid, so watching this movie, I was getting some nostalgia bait going on throughout the whole movie. But this aspect of just this timelessness added to the whale component made me really appreciate it a little bit more. So ultimately, a fun movie, walk down memory lane. I gave it a 6 out of 10. It wasn't good, it wasn't amazing, but it was definitely fun and, worth watching. And I guess added to the star power, the end credit song was a Michael Jackson song. So that's, blew the budget probably on contracting out Michael Jackson and getting a bunch of whale footage. But it was a fun movie walking down memory lane. What did you watch this week?
Oh, that's it? That's all you watched?
Well, in the interest of time, I'm probably going to limit it and just say Free Willy.
Okay. Well,
other than Mission Impossible 2, which is a plug for another
2.
episode that came out, yeah.
I don't think I watched any movies.
Okay.
No, that's not true. I rewatched The Shape of Water.
Oh, I've never... Is it good? Obviously, if you're rewatching it, I guess it must be.
It's different. I mean, it's a Guillermo del Toro film,
right.
So with that comes a certain amount of different
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's different. It's well known as the movie about a woman who has sex with a fish. And
yep.
And I mean, more or less, that is what it is. Okay. But it's good. I mean, it's got Michael Shannon in it, who I'm a big fan of. And so, yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. What else did I watch? In the last month and a bit, in preparation for Carl and I reviewing The Bad Batch season 2,
yeah,
I watched all 7 seasons of The Clone Wars.
Wowzers.
And the first season of The Bad Batch. So I watched 8 seasons of a show in the last month.
Insane.
So I watched that.
Oh.
And then
I hope it was at least worth it.
I think it was, yeah.
Okay, good.
And then Brienne, my girlfriend, and I have been watching a little while back now. We started rewatching 2.5 Men.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And we've just, in the last 2 days or 3 days, reached the part of the show where Charlie Sheen is gone and now it's Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that occurring.
And I don't know.
We'll okay.
See. I had seen everything up until this point several times. And I've seen, I think, the first season or the first chunk of the first season with Ashton maybe once. So for one of my favorite sitcoms growing up, we're now in uncharted waters. So we'll have to see. I don't know.
Cool.
I don't know. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it.
Right on.
I think. Wrap it up, sir.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for voting if you did. And if not, check out our vote next time and have your say. Follow, subscribe. All our socials are below. Please give us a good rate and review wherever you're listening. We do appreciate that. And check out our Patreon page. It's a way for you to get some perks whether it be exclusive access to the occasional bonus show or the occasional live stream, or, getting your say, if you're a bit of a higher tier, about some movie voting options and getting some increased voting power. We do appreciate it. And other than paying for our flight to Russia, it's not a good joke right now for
where are you going with this?
Other than to pay for our flights to Hawaii for the Movie Men retreat, it actually does just cover the costs of podcasting. We're not here to make a profit. It's just it's not free to make a podcast, so we do appreciate the support that we get. And stay tuned.
As little as $1 a month.
It does make a difference, and we do
also
very much. Oh, hold on, we do very much appreciate those who do support us on Patreon already.
Also, even in non-war times, what the hell kind of retreat do you think we're having?
I was just trying to pick something that was so ridiculously not true that we aren't actually spending a couple $1,000 on flights. But then as soon as it came out of my mouth, I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Hawaii.
Yeah.
Winnipeg.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, thank you for listening, and join us next time, and stay tuned for some upcoming votes.
And speaking of movies that Pete would see in the theater, because you said you would see you'd see Mrs. Doubtfire in the theater. In the next I don't know, let me look at the calendar. 1, 2, 3. In 3.5 weeks, Pete and I
are seeing Mrs. Doubtfire.
Are gonna go see Mrs. Doubtfire. We're gonna go see the 3D 4K re-release of Titanic. Pete is finally making the venture all the way down south to come see me in the grand old city of Toronto.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go see this in the biggest screen that I can find to show it to him in. And I don't know if we'll do an episode on it, but even if we don't do an episode, you can bet your ass there'll be a segment.
We
somewhere.
have to. I think we have to do an episode.
And talk. Even though we've talked about Titanic till we're blue in the face. I mean,
it made its way up on the 007 episodes.
What's one more?
Sure. Yeah.
What's one more? That'll be good. So, until next time, which I'm not even entirely sure what that will be. I think the next time you and I talk, we're reviewing the next Scream film.
I think so. Yes.
Scream 3. Yep.
Scream 3 Tokyo Drift.
Yeah. Until then, remember, once the father of your children is out of the picture, the only solution is total and lifelong celibacy.